show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Justice League Bruce Wayne Mafex Medicom action figure. It looks like this is the 76th Mafex figure in this line that they're making. This is from the Justice League film. Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne, as he's unmasked. It looks like it's from the scene where he approached the Flash and tried to get him to join his league. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. But real quick, you may have noticed there are 3 of these guys in front of you. I bought one of them to keep my complete Batman Mafex collection unopened. And then I bought 2 to open. One of them to keep as is for a suited Bruce Wayne. And another one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. I'm an absolute sucker for civilians and suited guys. I think this guy can make a great customer substitution for something in the near future. So, here's the package. You can see Justice League, all the different hero logos, Mafex, 76 figure, Bruce Wayne, bunch of different hands, batarangs. I see a Parademon gun, which is a pretty odd thing to include with this guy. I do see a different head and neck, which I believe will enhance the tactical suit Batman. And I guess that explains why you came with the Parademon gun, but I'm pretty sure we already got a Parademon gun with him. I'd have to double check that, and I sure will. So, one side, we've got Bruce Wayne standing there. Another side, Bruce Wayne holding the Batarang, kind of like he threw toward Barry Allen to test his reflexes, make sure he actually was the guy he thought he was. The bottom, barcode, useless junk. And on the back side, here he is standing there. Here he is, like he just threw the Batarang. Here he is holding the Batarang. Here's the back of him. You can see the accessories he comes with. Mafex has this habit of releasing additional accessories to enhance previous figures. I think it's pretty cool, although sometimes it would give you a completely different version of another figure, and that'll make me want to buy another one. And I guess it's a good marketing ploy because it sure does work for me. But in general, I think it's a pretty good feature, and I'll say in general, Mafex's quality control has been increasing with each figure they release. I used to really kind of despise their figures. Yeah, they'd look good, but boy, they would just crumble in your hands and fall apart. That is definitely not an issue anymore. Really feeling the Mafex figures. They're getting better and better. They are also getting more expensive, but it is what it is. They almost cost as much as a Medicom figure nowadays, which, it's all good. So, here we go. With no further ado, let's open up and check them out. And then here he is taking his rightful place with all of my other recent unopened Batman-related figure acquisitions in front of my comic collection. As you can see here, next to the other Bruce Wayne, I actually had to start putting them in front of a whole new bookshelf because my other one got filled up with all the Mafex figures I've been getting. You can see here some of the other Mafex figures. Filled up that entire bookshelf and had to start again. Here we are, so let's open them up. Alright, well now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out, and he does come with quite a bit. First of all, let's take a look at the figure. I must say this guy looks pretty good. Good Ben Affleck likeness. He's got his trench coat on top of his 3-piece suit, looking very nice, wealthy attire. This will be great for a great Bruce Wayne figure. Could be a good civilian, could be a mobster. Just so many different things you can do with this kind of a body. Really digging it. He's got some sort of pinstripe pants, trench coat. Looks like maybe a scarf on the inside of here. His vest matching his pants, black tie. Really looking nice. And so here's a figure broken down with all the removable pieces laid out. He's got a combined total of 10 hands, 2 heads, and the second head is actually not intended for this figure but a previous figure, 3 batarangs, a Parademon gun, and an action figure stand. First I would like to look at the accessories that are specifically intended for him, and then I'll get to the accessories that will enhance the tactical suit Batman. So this guy comes with 10 hands, and honestly, some of them look so similar, it's almost like why. 3 batarangs. We've got this Medicom stand here. Me personally, not a stand guy. This will end up in my huge box of stands, never be seen again. Now he does come with 3 different pairs of open hands, and it's almost like why they're very similar to each other, so let's knock those out first. These 2 in the back here are the default hands that he came with. Here he is with the first 2 open hands. These are the default ones that he came with in the package. Nothing really special going on here. Could shake somebody's hand. Next, I'd like to look at these open hands, a little bit wider open than the default hands. Now here he is with those. They seem to be sort of just plain ordinary hands, as if his arms are down by his sides, relaxed. And then we're going to look at this next pair at the very bottom here, another pair of open hands. They actually appear like they're supposed to be his hand right after he's released the batarang when he's throwing it. And then here he is with those. We will see how that looks here shortly with the batarang. Next, let's check out his fisted hands. And then here he is with his fisted hands, getting really angry, getting ready to fight somebody. Next, let's check out these hands, which look kind of odd. I believe they're intended to be holding the batarang when he's in the midst of throwing it. And then you can see here he is with these 2 hands. And then as you can see here, take one of these batarangs. This thing's out of hard plastics, not bendable at all. A couple little lines here on the front. Nice little DC Cinematic Universe batarang. And as you can see, this batarang fits in perfectly. It's definitely his throwing hand. And then here he is after he just released it from his hand. And of course, even though he did not do it in the film, they do give him 2 hands to hold both batarangs with. Pretty cool. I'm reminded of that scene in Justice League where he's sitting in Barry Allen's recliner. Barry Allen comes in, asks him what he's doing there. Says, I'm Bruce Wayne. Next, let's check out his accessories that will enhance the Mafex tactical suit Justice League Batman. We've got another alternate head, a neck so he can wear his unmasked head, and then we've got the Parademon rifle as well. In order to utilize these accessories, you have to have the Mafex Justice League Tactical Suit Batman. This guy was released at least 6 months ago or so. If you don't have this figure, these accessories will be useless to you. The Mafex Tactical Suit Batman already came with 3 different heads. This is the default sort of standard one I was wearing a minute ago. Then we've got another one with the glasses on. He's a little bit angry, sort of fighting. And then we've got one with his glasses up, a little bit more casual. And then the new head that this one comes with here has his glasses completely off. And I was a little confused as to why he came with the unmasked neck. It seemed like it didn't make sense for this head. But that is so you can wear his Bruce Wayne completely unmasked head. So now this guy has a total of 4 different heads you can choose from. This is going to be my standard head for him, but he's also got his angry fighting head. He's got his glasses up. He's got his glasses completely off. And then we'll add another head to the mix, being his Bruce Wayne head. So you can see here, they've now enhanced this previous Batman to have 5 different heads, whereas he originally came with 3 different heads. And then here's a tactical suit Batman wearing the head that came with this Bruce Wayne that has no glasses on it. So we've still got his neck piece and the Parademon rifle to look at. So in order to have the tactical suit Batman with his mask completely off, you do have to swap out the neck so it will look right, and it's not a hard thing to do by any means. His neck really just comes right out. You can see here, here's the neck piece that I removed from him. This works good for a masked head, but if you have an unmasked head, it kind of shows some black leading into the head, does not look right. Here is his unmasked neck to be attached. And then here he is with his unmasked head's neck attached to the body. This is the neck that came with the Bruce Wayne figure to enhance the tactical suit Batman. And then here's the tactical suit figure wearing the unmasked Bruce Wayne head that is the actual head that came with the Justice League Bruce Wayne figure. It's not an extra head, so you got to do either one or the other. But it looks pretty good. I like to tuck his masked head under here as if he's holding his cowl on the side. And here's his unmasked head as it would look if you used the wrong neck on it. The only real difference is this neck here, the black part goes all the way up to his face. Whereas on this other neck, it kind of has some flesh color to the top part there. So then next we have this Parademon rifle. This item was included with this Bruce Wayne to enhance the tactical suit Batman, because in the film he did pick up one of the Parademon rifles and was shooting the Parademons as far as the Justice League was engaging them in combat. And then here is the Parademon rifle that came with this Mafex Bruce Wayne, compared to several other Parademon rifles I have in my collection. The first one here is the smallest. It's from the Mattel 6-inch basic Parademon figure. Next, this is from the Medicom 112 line. It came with the Justice League Tactical Armor Batman as well. He had the same sort of feature. He had the Parademon gun because he used it in the movie in that suit. Then here's the one that came with the Mafex figure, the one we're looking at right now. And then here's the one that came with the Toys R Us exclusive Multiverse Parademon figure, definitely the biggest of the bunch. Pretty cool to have all four of these. I'll probably end up throwing these guys to my Parademon army, even though they all already have weapons. And then here he is holding the Parademon rifle, of course using the trigger finger in hand, which is appropriate for it, fighting a couple different multiverse Parademons. Now that we've taken a very in-depth look at his accessories, let's check out the height of this figure. Mafex figures are usually about 6.5 or so inches tall. They're pretty similar to the Multiverse and DC Universe Classics figures. So this guy here, taken from top to bottom, looks like he's just a hair under 6.5 inches, probably 6.4 inches tall. Next, let's check out this figure's articulation. So, the figure, of course, his head, it can tilt from side to side a bit. Of course, you can turn around, can look down this far, which is pretty nice. Look up that far, also not too bad. His shoulders go out well over 90 degrees on a ball joint. They go up, down, around. Now, they do have these weird drop-down shoulders. They go like this. They look absolutely awful like this. But it does allow you to achieve some other poses. Put his arm more forward if he's holding a gun or reaching out for something. Kind of helps with no bicep cut here. Then we got his elbows. They're kind of double jointed in Mafex's sort of odd way. You can see they really only go about 90 degrees. They go a little further. So double jointed elbows. No swivel of any kind inside there. Then his wrist, of course, it can go around and it is hinged. Then he's got this sort of ab crunch inside of here. He's got a ball inside there, a lot of range of motion inside there, and he has another ball where his waist swivel would be. So either one can turn, and then if you put him completely straight up and down, and you want him to look down as far as he can go with all of his different features, pretty nice. And as far as how much he can look up, come on head, stay on there. Say about that far, not too shabby. His legs, of course the jacket's going to obstruct him a little bit. Go out about that far, then go forward, completely 90 degrees, back, really not too much. Once again, kind of like his shoulders, they've got these drop down hips over here. Look absolutely awful when they're dropped down. They do add a little bit of height to the figure, if that's a concern of yours. Then his knees, also kind of double jointed in Mezco's way. Then you go up about that far. No swivel whatsoever. And then his feet, of course, they go up and down a little bit. Then go from side to side, and they can tilt and rock a little bit, which is a pretty nice feature, of course, as always. So really nothing new to report in the articulation department. If you've gotten any of the recent Mafex releases, very consistent with those. Next, I would like to compare him to a bunch of different Bruce Wayne figures and then a bunch of different action figure lines to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise. And then here he is next to another recent Mafex release. This is Bruce Wayne from the Dark Knight trilogy, specifically Dark Knight Rises. Pretty cool to have a Ben Affleck and a Christian Bale Bruce Wayne in civilian clothing next to each other. Consistent in style and scale-wise from the same line. Like it a lot. Of course, I did end up getting 2 of each of these figures for custom purposes. Here he is next to a couple of different custom Bruce Waynes I've made. One is using the Galahad body and one is using the Eggsy body, both of which are using Mafex Bruce Wayne heads. Pretty sure one came with Dark Knight 1.0 and one came with Dark Knight, I don't know, 2.0 or 3.0, etc., etc. And then here he is next to the actual Eggsy and Galahad Mafex figures. Here he is next to a couple of John Wick Mafex figures. I'm saving the second one to make a Ra's al Ghul on this body. For some reason my Ra's al Ghul is still stuck in customs. It's been there for weeks. And then here he is next to some Dark Knight Trilogy suited action figures. I use these bank robber Jokers as Joker thugs in my world. And there's also Harvey Dent and Jonathan Crane next to this Bruce Wayne. And then here he is next to a Harley Quinn and Joker from Suicide Squad figures. These are Mafex figures. These are from the same movie universe as this Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne. And then here he is next to a DC Direct Bruce Wayne figure. This is from the Arkham City game. As far as I can tell, this is the only Bruce Wayne they've ever released before these 2 recent Mafex releases of a Bruce Wayne figure in a business suit. Sure, they've made tons of unmasked Batmans, etc., etc., but we've never actually seen a Bruce Wayne in a civilian suit figure done until this DC Direct one, and now we have these 2 new Mafex figures to join him. Pretty cool. This guy's definitely quite a bit taller than them, though. And then here he is next to a Mattel Movie Master Bruce Wayne figure. This is not an actual licensed release figure. I took an Alfred body and put a Bruce Wayne head on it. I had lots of extra Bruce Wayne heads from the Survival Suit Bruce Wayne figures that they released earlier. I've seen some people use Harvey Dent or Walter Peck bodies for the Bruce Wayne custom figure. He's pretty similarly scaled to the Mafex, a little bit smaller. And then here is a Mattel DC Universe Classics Bruce Wayne. Once again, this is not an officially licensed release. This was a Clark Kent body, and I took a DC Direct Secret Files and Origins Bruce Wayne head and popped it on here. This is actually my favorite Bruce Wayne I have in my collection. I think he looks very similar to the Batman the Animated Series Bruce Wayne from his face. I've always wanted to take a suit and paint it brown and make his shirt yellow, kind of like in the cartoon. Still never too late to do it. Another project that's on the back burner. Now here are all the different Bruce Wayne figures I have in my collection. The majority of these are customs. Absolutely each and every one has an officially licensed Bruce Wayne head released in one way, shape, form, or another. Some of these figures look better than others. Some of these look kind of bad as far as the heads are too small or the skin tone completely doesn't match. Some of these I feel like are just sort of placeholders until I find a better suited body. I use a ton of DC Universe Classic Clark Kents and a ton of big wrestler suited bodies. Tried to keep the Ben Affleck or Dark Knight Returns Batmans on the wrestler, bigger buff bodies. Next, I'd like to compare this figure to several different action figure lines to see how he fits in both style and scale wise. I'm going to start with some of the larger action figure lines and work their way smaller. Here he is next to some Diamond Select action figure lines, 4 different lines. As you can see here, they tower considerably above the Mafex figures. Here he is next to 4 different action figure lines from McFarlane Toys. Once again, they're continuing to be quite a bit taller than the Mafex figures. And then here he is compared to 4 different NECA action figure lines, continuing the trend that they're a little bit bigger than the Mafex. And then here he is compared with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Once again, these guys are definitely out of scale with the Mafex figures. And then here he is next to several Mattel wrestling figures. As you can see here, even some of the smaller or larger wrestling figures, they're really all too big for the Mafex line. Here he is as he would fit in with Mezco action figures. They're just a tiny bit taller than him, not too far off. And then here he is next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. For the most part, I think he fits in well with them. They're just a hair bigger than the Mafex figures. And then here he is next to some Mattel Movie Master figures. These are similar to the DC Universe Classics, but a tiny bit shorter. The Mafex figures fit in almost perfect with these guys. They are just a hair taller than the Movie Masters. And then here he is next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. The Mafex guys fit in pretty nicely with them. Once again, just about a hair taller. And then here he is next to some Figure Arts figures. Similarly scaled, but getting just a little bit smaller than the Mafex at this point. So overall, this is a very solid figure. I enjoy it quite a bit, perhaps even more than I expected, and I did expect to enjoy this figure a lot. Between him and the Dark Knight Trilogy Bruce Wayne, I think I like this guy just a tiny bit more. His suit is a little bit more unique, the details seem a little bit better, likeness maybe just a little bit better as well. They're both great figures. I'm a huge fan of suited action figures. Civilians, thugs, etc., Bruce Waynes. Love this kind of guy. So I'm going to give this figure an 8.5 out of 10. I know I give the same rating to the Dark Knight Trilogy Bruce Wayne, but this guy is a hair better. So this is D Hunter. If you like this video, press like below. If you want to say anything about the video, please put in the comments below. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.